Hi, Mark Reedy here. In this video, I just want to go over the inventory report we have in TATEMS, and then I'm going to show you where to find currently 12 other reports that are Excel spreadsheets that you can link up to your TATEMS data and see the inventory in various different ways. So the first one here is underneath Reports, More Reports, and then we're going to change the report type to Parts Inventory. And we're just going to choose the one report in there. And you can see we have criteria we can narrow down by the various criteria like inventory type, descriptions, vendors, and so forth. And in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and click Preview. And the next screen that pops up is the option to exclude certain parts types from the report. And so, for example, if you wanted to exclude everything except for tires, you could do that, right? And so here's tire. In this particular database, it looks like the people that were running TATEMS added a lot of different parts types. I probably would have kept that a little more generic categories, a little broader categories, but that's fine. So basically, yeah, you would just select all the parts types that you don't want to include. Now down here it says display inactive part types. So you may have part types that you've made inactive underneath forms and then drop down list maintenance and parts types. And if you want to see all those parts as well, and we can display those, and they will display here in this list, and they'll display on the report itself. So if you want to see everything in the system, including the inactive part types, go ahead and check that box there, and then click Continue. And so this is the report. And this report gives you, it's grouped by type. So you can see over here on the left, we see parts here where there is no type that was selected. If we go down here a couple of pages, we'll start to see some of the parts types. So it looks like we have multiple pages with no type. There we go. So now we can see this is air filters, and then we have antifreeze, we have Bendix, bulk oil, and so forth. And so you can see here that it shows you the quantity on hand, and if there's no quantity on hand, it will show you those parts as well. Right? So it's going to give you every part you have in inventory, whether you have any on hand or not. All right? And then it's going to give you the total cost or value of those parts that are on hand currently, based upon the prices of the parts that are in the system currently. All right? So that's basically how that report works. If we go all the way to the end of the report, it gives you the total value or cost of all the inventory listed on hand. And this is the cost, not the price that you might charge for it. It's the actual cost that you paid for it. All right. So that's the parts inventory report inside of TATEMS. Now, if we go over here to tatems.com/spreadsheets, here you're going to see there, and then if you press F3, if you're like in Windows or if you're in Chrome, the Chrome browser, if you press F3, it'll bring up the search box up at the top here. You type in the word inventory, and you can see there are 12 lines that have inventory, or the word inventory comes up 12 times. So all these ones that are highlighted have to do with parts inventory. All right. So just to give you an example, this one is parts inventory types list, which is that list we just saw where you could exclude things. The very first one up here, number 1, is all parts inventory without the grouping. So it gives you everything without the grouping. And the thing that's nice about these spreadsheets is that once you get it into Excel, then you can restrict the data using the filters inside of Excel. I'll just show you that real quick on this one. Go ahead and open that up. And let's go ahead and resize that. Okay, So once you get it open, you just want to click on Enable Editing, and then Enable Content, and then you go over here to Data, Connections, Properties, Definition, and we just want to change the path of where the data file is. So we, in this case, because the TATEMS, I'm connected to a different database file than the default location for a 32-bit machine. This happens to be a 64-bit machine, so it would be in a slightly different place. But let me go ahead and show you how to get that information out of TATEMS. I'm going to close this report, go back up here to Tools and Networking. I'm just going to copy this path right here in the Networking tool. And now I'm going to go down here to the Data Source Equals. I'm going to highlight everything from after the equal sign to just before the semicolon. I'm going to do a Control V to paste, or I could just right click and choose Paste. That puts the path in there. And now I'm going to click OK and close. And so now we can see all the parts in this database. And there's no grouping by type, although we do have the type over here. So if I wanted to see only a specific type, I could unselect this and say I wanted to see everything that is an air filter. I could choose that, click OK, and now I see all the air filters. And now over here, if I only wanted to see stuff where the quantity on hand is greater than 0, I can choose this little drop down here, unselect everything, and then choose the ones where it's 1, 2, or whatever greater number. I could also use a number filter here and choose greater than, and then we just put greater than 0, click OK there, and that's going to give us the quantity on hand where everything is greater than 0. Then if I wanted to get a total, and this gives you the cost and the selling price out of the inventory. So if I wanted to see a total for that, I could highlight, drag down here to one row below, and then I could do well, it's probably better to just copy this to a new, because you don't want to, it's going to get overwritten once I change these parameters. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this from here down, copy that, and go ahead and go to the next sheet, right click and paste that in. And so now I've got just the data without the linking to the database. And so now I've got, and I could rename this sheet Air Filters on Hand, right? And so now I could highlight that there, and I can choose, go over to the Home tab, and then choose the Auto Sum. That gives us our total cost for the current air filters and our selling price for the current air filters. All right, and then you can go and check out any of those spreadsheets at tatems.com/spreadsheets, link them up to your TATEMS data, and then you can filter the data and view it in different ways and see all the information you need regarding the parts inventory. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Take care.